Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my channel. This is the part 28 of my Git and GitHub tutorial. I will suggest you before going through this part 28, please visit my part 27 of Git and GitHub tutorial. So my previous video that is regarding on how to create and configure teams in GitHub. So you will get all these video sessions and series in the Git and GitHub tutorial playlist. So this is available in my channel. Okay, let's visit my presentation here. So in this part 28, the subject line is what are the steps to upload complete project on GitHub by the owner. This project may be the .NET project or the PHP or Java projects. Anything you can upload these projects using these steps, whatever will show you now. So in this part 28, what are the points we'll discuss here, that how the owner will add the files using git bash in the main branch and clone the uploaded project of GitHub repo for testing purpose. So before that, I log in as a owner to the GitHub account, that is the Mohan CS GitHub, and in the Mohan CS GitHub the organization name is Mohan ORG Global and the repository and the project name is healthcare project. And in this healthcare project we have added one create a repository called healthcare-project. So this is a healthcare project around the world, and this is the new member Satya CS GitHub. This is the description line we have added earlier. Alright, so how owner will add these files using git bash in the main branch. So step 1 is here in the my local directory. So Mohan owner Froz have created a local directory. I mentioned his user email and username of GitHub account for author identity using git bash. So what I'll do, I just right click here. So this one I've created this local directory in my system, that is a drive, my git repo channel Mohan ORG Global and the Mohan owner Froz. So I just right click here and open the git bash, and we need to configure our GitHub account for author identity. So for that, what I'll do, I'll show you here. So I will mention the name of the GitHub account and his username. Alright, so the user email is this one, so you can put your own, right? Okay, again I need to copy this one and enter. So why it is showing that git config user.email, that is, so here I need to check the info user.email. Alright, so this one is author identity unknown. So git config user.email. Okay, I need to mention here global, right? So here I need to mention here global. Git config -- global user.email, and git config the same thing for username we need to mention, that is global, right? So I just copy this one for configure the email. I just clear the screen here and I mention this one. Now my mail is configured for author identity unknown, and same thing we need to mention here for username, right? So here I mention the username, that is Mohan CS GitHub, and click enter. Now I can configure my GitHub account for author identity unknown for particular username, that is Mohan CS GitHub. So whatever the clone, pull and push operations will be conducted here, for that this author identity is required for to reflect in the GitHub account of Mohan's GitHub. Alright, so step 2 is here the owner will clone the GitHub repository. So for that, what I'll do, I just go to my code here and copy this one, go to my git bash here. So for clone, what the command is git clone and the clone URL whatever I copied, and just click enter. Alright, so after then we'll check the file details after clone the GitHub repo here. So go to my directory. You can see here after clone successful, you can get the repository name is healthcare-proj. Alright, so this file says the .git is a hidden file and the readme.md file. These two files I have got whatever is found in the remote GitHub repository. So after clone, we have got these two files in our physical directory here. Alright, so step 4 is we change directory to GitHub repo folder in local. So for that, what I'll do, I just copy this one, that is my path. So here what I'll do, I change the directory. For that, I'll mention here cd and my directory full directory path I need to give, that is cd is the change directory and the F drive my git repo and the channel under Mohan org global, Mohan owner proj and the healthcare-project. This is my full up directory of whatever I cloned earlier. Alright, after that I click enter. So what I'll do, I again put here cd and mention here the healthcare-proj, whatever our repository name we need to go inside. Alright, because whatever cloned repository is, that is the healthcare-proj, and this healthcare-proj inside we got two files, that is .git and the readme.md file. So that we need to go inside this healthcare-proj. So that I mention change directory and healthcare-proj here and click enter. So cd, okay, I mentioned here the wrong name of the repository, that is instead of a health I mentioned health. So I just copy for that, so that there is a proper name whatever given here. So I just copy this one and go here and mention again the cd and the name of this repository. Alright, now after you can see that before this line is showing like up to this F drive and Mohan owner proj, and after mention the cd the repository name, that is healthcare-proj, you can got this path, that is the F drive my git repo channel Mohan org global, Mohan owner proj, healthcare-proj and the main branch here. Alright, so we can successfully conduct this change directory to GitHub repo folder. Okay, step number 5 is we check the default branch associated with this GitHub repo, that is the main branch. Alright, so I just clear my screen and we'll continue for the step number 6. So step number 6 is here we check the actual .NET healthcare-proj project path using Visual Studio. So here I have created one sample .NET application. So here all these files have been created for .NET project. And step number 7 is the same copy we need to move to our GitHub repo folder. So I just copy this one, all these files of .NET project, and I'll go to my repo folder whatever I cloned here. I just paste all these .NET project files here. Alright, so see here, so you can get the same copy. So I need to close this because it is already open, that's why it's showing that I need to close this. So I try again. Now my all these copy.net projects, whatever is found in my another directory, it is successfully copied to my local Git repository here, including .git and readme.md file. Earlier it was 2 items, and after copy all these things, it is showing 6 items there. Alright, so step number 8 is I need to check the status of Git with updated files and folders using Git bash here. So I open this one, so I mention here Git status. Alright, so we can see that there is some files which not been checked yet. So this one is .vs folder, web application 1.sln, web application 1 folder, and packages folder. That means all these files whatever copied, this files is not available to my staging area, so that in Git status it is showing that this files is in untracked files, right? Okay, now step number 9 is we need to add the new changes to the staging area or part of our GitHub repository using Git bash. So the command is git add and dot, and click enter. So it will add all these files available in my GitHub repository to my staging area. Alright, so it's still continuing because there is so many files, and it is the real-time scenario how to push your .NET project, a PHP project, and Java projects. So you can see that my all these files available in my GitHub repository has been successfully pushed to my staging area. So next step number 10 is we need to commit those changes to Git. So to commit these changes, the command is git commit -m, and we need to mention some comments. So project added or project updated, right? After then I click enter. So here you can see that all these files and folders has been successfully committed to my local Git repository successfully. So here I just clear my screen to better visibility. So again I'll need to check the status here after successfully commit these changes. So this command git status here, so you can see that so all these files has been successfully committed. There is no files is available here to commit, right? So your branch is added in origin main here, your on branch main, and nothing to commit here, right? So changes to be committed, right? So there is nothing to check here because my all this file successfully committed. And step number 11 is I already have checked the status after successful commit. And the step number 12 is put those changes to our remote GitHub repository from the local Git repository in earlier whatever files and folders was available in my local Git repository after the commit. So we need to push those changes to our remote GitHub repository. So the command is git push and origin and the main. Origin is nothing but the alias, so main is the branch name, and click enter. So the project will be pushed to the GitHub repository. Alright, so it takes some time because all this claim the this big project will be pushed to our GitHub repository. So there is one it's coming that unable to access timeout. Maybe we need to check our internet connection here. Yeah, connection is fine. So what is the error is it is failed to connect GitHub timeout git push origin main. So the internet connection should be required because it connects to your remote GitHub repository. So we need to check our unable to access. This is the Mohanwarji global project.git failed to commit connect to github.com. Okay, may need to refresh. You can see that internet is not working, so that it not connected. So I need to change my connectivity. Alright, so wait some time here. So I disconnect this one and need to connect. Okay, again I need to connect this one. Okay, now I just refresh this my GitHub repository. So my internet connection is worked successfully. Alright, so it is not showing any projects whatever I committed earlier to my local Git repository. So I need to successfully execute this command, that is git push origin main. So after then I click enter. Hopefully it will push all these changes to my GitHub remote GitHub repository. So now you can see that all these processes is continuing with all these things, that is writing projects. That means my local Git successfully connect to the remote GitHub repository, and it starts pushing these changes or files and folders to my remote GitHub repository. Alright, and after then we can check our remote GitHub repository after logging into the owner account. So it will take some time because it is a very big project to push all these things to our remote GitHub repository. Now our all these files has been successfully pushed to my remote GitHub repository. This you can get this path. This is nothing but the clone URL and the main branch, right? So I will step number 13 is I'll check our GitHub repository after logging into owner account to check the project details after successfully pushed from our local Git to remote GitHub repository. So I just refresh this our GitHub account, GitHub URL. So we can see that all these files is available here, including readme.md file and whatever the files and folders are available in our local Git repository. So after successfully pushed our .NET project, So in our GitHub repository, all these files and GitHub project is available here. That is .bs folder, web application 1 folder, packages folder, and web application 1.sln. So this is the very real-time scenario how to push your whole complete project to your remote GitHub repository. It is a very real-time and mostly used steps in the right scenario. So step number 14 is we need to create a new directory to clone the project in the GitHub repo. So whatever the files and folders is available here, it is the updated one GitHub repo. So I need to clone again to get all these files. So for that, what I'll do, I already have created another folder, that is test, clone and run the project. There is nothing is available here. This is totally completely empty. So what I'll do, I just close this session of GitHub Git bash, and what I'll do that I'll just right click here and open this Git bash. Right, so after then what I'll do, I just clone again after successfully pushed from local git to GitHub. So I just want all these files to clone in my local git repository again. So here I just already opened my GitHub Git bash here. So I just clone this all this repository. So git clone and the clone URL. So after then I click enter. Alright, after then we will check our this clone project, cloned repo successfully comes to our local directory or not. Okay, now I go to my test, clone and run project. You can see that after clone, I got all these files available in my remote GitHub repository. After successfully cloned, I got all these files and whole complete .NET project including the solution file. Alright, so step number 15 is I check the project details. After successfully cloning the repo, I got all these files. Okay, now step number 16 is I need to open the Visual Studio. So I open the Visual Studio here. And after successfully open my Visual Studio, I will open my project, that is the web application 1.sln, and I'll check some files whatever available in this project. So I'll just go to files here and open and project solution. And go to my web drive here, because here all my cloned project available, that is the test, clone and run project, and click on web application 1.sln and open. Right, so it will open the web application 1, that is the healthcare project, whatever we have cloned earlier to my local git repository under test, clone and run project. So in this way, some companies are following these steps, and they are clone all this complete whole project to their GitHub repository, and they will access this GitHub repository to clone all these files and folders related to the your .NET project to specific members, so that they clone their projects to their local directory and starts working on it. So I did the same process and steps here, so you can follow up the steps. So this project is available here, .NET Web Application 1 project. So you can get all these files. That is the property reference. You got all these DLL files and some CSS files here and fonts and some images related to this web application 1 and some JavaScript files and index.html, news-details.html, package.config and web.config file. Alright, so what I'll do here, I will just open this index.html file here. So after successfully clone this .NET project, I open the .NET project solution file using Visual Studio, and I will open this index.html file here. So you got that the index.html content here, that is the title. I have added Satya ORG global, and I add some CSS file, CSS, that is template-style.css, and some related content here. I have added one deep tag under head for head, that is welcome to Satya ORG global healthcare, and for required any deep tag I can to customize my content here under index.html. So I need to check the output, so I just click this one for compile and run this project. So step number 17 is I will run this project to check the output here. So it starts building my project. It will take some time to check the output on this browser. So build is succeeded and my application is ready to run on the browser, and we'll check the output here. So in this way we can check this application in .NET project to check the output after clone this project, right? So you see here the title of the output, it's showing Satya ORG global, and my localhost URL is this, the port number 54073, and the index.html file, the content. So it will load all this content to my this page, so we can see the output. It loads all this content here. So you can see that this is the complete project, .NET project, its output. So you got this index.html content here. Alright, so it is the footer section of this project or this application, and you got some appointment and some this is the map API I have integrated here. So this is the complete .NET healthcare project, the sample project. Alright, so you got this file, you got this application, right? After clone this project, and we build and run this application, compile and run the application. After then we got the output here, and this is the title, that is Satya Varji Global, and this is the header section, it is welcome to Satya Varji Global Healthcare, and this is the deep tag I have added for health center Satya Varji Global. And you can, if you'll click this home, it is showing home. Got the about us, it scroll to about us. If you click on doctors, you will get the doctors, and if you get the news, it scroll to the latest news here. And if you'll check the contact, so it will go to the contact of this there is the footer section of that application. All right, so step number 18 is let's check the programming language in this .NET Healthcare project that I uploaded to GitHub repo here. So for that, what I'll do, you can see that in your remote GitHub repository, you just scroll down in the languages part, you will see some project contains file formats, that is the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and C#. So HTML contains 52.2%, CSS contains 33.4%, JavaScript contains 12.3%, and C# contains 2.1%. So after clone this project, after commit and successfully push these changes to GitHub repository, this automatically identify what are the programming languages are associated with this application or these files in this project. So you got here, right, languages are here: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and C#. And step number 9 is check the uploaded project status, that is the number of commits, time, duration, name of the user, and who uploaded, and the commit messages in here. So you can see that Mohan says GitHub project is added. This one is the commit message, and the branch name is main branch, and you got this commit ID or version ID, and 19 minutes ago it has been pushed from local git to remote GitHub repository, and it is showing 3 commits here. All right, so in this way we can check the status in remote GitHub repository. And step 20 is we'll check the project commit details here. So I just click here, commits, 3 commits. So here you'll got that project commit on today, that is October 3, and its project updated by Mohan says GitHub, committed 20 minutes ago, and you got the reference ID or version ID or commit ID to this push this change operation from local git to GitHub by the Mohan CS GitHub username. All right, and step number 21 is here we check the latest file commit details by the owner. So this files is the file is this project is committed. I just click this project updated link here. So you'll got all these files right. So this project updated is the commit message, and Mohan's committed 20 minutes ago, and it is showing 200 changed files with 13,650 additions and 0 deletions. So you got all these files, right? So all these files are related to .NET project. So that is the web application 1.sln, info.cs, web.debug.config, and all these files you got here after successfully cloned, right? So it is empty files. So you got all these files and the status we checked here, right? So I just refresh. So you got all these files after click on this link, that is you got all these files related to this uploaded project, that is 200 files have been pushed from local git to GitHub repository. So and the files and its related contents will be available here. Web.release.config and web.debug.config. Okay, I'll close this tab to check our app organization related details. And step 22 is we check the maximum percentage of programming language present in GitHub repo. So I just refresh this. So we check here the maximum percentage of programming language present in GitHub repository, that is HTML. So that you got that here with the red mark, that is the HTML, because earlier I already have shown you how many programming languages are associated with this project with uploaded content, and the HTML part contains maximum percentage, so that it's showing the maximum percentage here, that is the HTML part. So it shows the programming language whose maximum percentage in this repository. Alright, so step number 23 is here we check the uploaded .NET project files details in GitHub repository. So I just click here. So you'll got all these files, right? You got all these files, right? So I just go to my this one healthcare project.